Good morning. Just after 9:15 on Monday, April Fool's Day, 2019. And what a joke we've had played on the shorts. All right, let's take a look. Let's get organized. And I'm still thinking two-way day, but I also think that the shorts have really got their backs to the wall. And I've suggested buying pullbacks, and if we're wrong, just drop it. And I'm not talking about close your eyes and buy, and we just get a lopsided push, push, push. I think we're going to get some chop. I've said that already. So a reminder to everybody, let's use risk capital we can afford to lose if we're playing this game. And unfortunately, I believe we've got some stolen range. All right, I've taken the widget and rather than just use the true range for printed range, I've set it back to the gap area to reflect the range type trade that we have. So we can see we've got basically a 20-point swing overnight already. I suggested that we use 48 as stop. That would be a 60 back. Use that as a stop for the longs. I said, I think that we have this 54 area as our squeeze pivot. So let's just do a line to see what I'm talking about. So I think that's our squeeze pivot. And let's use 52 as our aggressive support, aggressive stop. Obviously deeper stops behind that. So this is the relationship that I've been looking at. And there is no easy trade, obviously, when we get stolen range like this and we get the market pushing higher. Here's a 30-minute chart, which I said we need to be aware of. The aggressive chart we're looking at, our normal chart is the 15. You can see how we're bumping into the blue line, but, get a little bit of a sell and Charlie gets excited and decides that's the place to sell, and not really, range type trade for now. I think if you are long side, you should be paid coming into the open. We don't know what the boys are going to do. My first target today, long side, suggested it would be that 62. So we're using that as our resistance target. And we need the generals to push back. You and I are not going to push back and get this thing moving backwards. You need the generals. That's why I said you may want to wait a bit until closer to RTH if you like the short side. We get a little news, boom, and right back into it. So anybody that's played since I've been up and at my desk, which is just before 7 o'clock, if you bought the pullback, you probably already have a little something in your pocket. And we suggested 1 or 2 points, just get on the scoreboard. Obviously, if you trail and get more, good for you. So this is last month. This is the double that we held. We took out that 30, 32 area. Obviously, that's big support for now. I had suggested 42 as our next resistance at the end of the day on Friday. That easily got gapped up and over, so we're using 42 as our primary support right now. That breaks, and obviously that 37.5, 38 area is still available. But for now, we're thinking of 42 is a squeeze pivot. And this high at 66 is resistance still broken, and that's obviously a resistance target that the longs are trying to bust. Last night I showed this chart, which is showing us as an inside year right now. That's that high that we're looking at, 66. And this 76, 75, I called it 78. I said this will be resistance until broken, and so far we've had a nice pullback. but still gunning for that target, and that will be a retest. All right, it's the third time through trade right there. So that's what the longs are attempting to do, is get back to that retest. Obviously, 66 comes first. Here's our angels and demons. I said that the system picked the doji. I was using the 59. I thought that was a little more appropriate at the time. Would be the low of this bar. I've left this here. It's about a point differential there. You can see how our thrust bar overnight has held on this pullback. Anybody that wanted the long side got a couple of points of risk, and you try to get back into that 57 to 58 area. Of that, good fortune. And we had said, let's think about this as a fairly tight range. Just think range trading, and unfortunately, you can't expect a big move either way pre-market now that this range has been established. So these are the type of days you decide, do you even want to trade? And if so, you realize that currently you're risking two to make two. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you try to combine a few ideas, like buying a pullback morning after trend day near what you think is support. And that's the edge, is attempting those type trades and thinking like a bot. So that's the look I've got right now. And as time evolves, we'll wind up going back and looking at deeper charts and so on. But for now, this tells us all we need to know, that this bar, until we break this bar, that is support. And then I had suggested let's use back here that squeeze pivot back here. So let's use 48 support. So that's our support until we get through it. And the goal of the longs is try to take out this high, get to 62s, the 66, 65 area. Anybody that's playing the squeeze type trade, remember, coming into the open, got shorts at a trap, will have to pay up. And I'm thinking hit and run if you're going to play. And you cannot be afraid of the long side. Think like a bot. I said earlier, I think today we need to buy a couple of pullbacks and then don't expect too much. Two-way day is the way I'm calling it right now. Should be able to make a little either direction. And if you're conservative, sideline for the first couple of minutes. And overnight, we can see the consolidation. Pound up. One new high, whack-a-mole. Here's your W. Next new high. Right now, we still have the long side in control from this spike. I'm not reading too much into this. The long side has already had a great trade. I was out last night with friends, invited me to dinner, and had a nice dinner. And by the time I got home, the move was already up here. I don't know, it was like 9:45 I got back, something like that. What do? You know, you just try to analyze it and let your mind work on it overnight. And posts I made, obviously, still telling the truth about the move. And sometimes you have good feel for it, but obviously you're not there. You can't take advantage of it. All right, we're going to be opening up. Play well.